สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับเรียบร้อยครับ
Good evening and greetings to everybody. Welcome to another Zoom meeting in which everyone is welcome to join. If you have any questions and you would like to ask, you are welcome to join our meeting and ask questions. We'll go one by one according to the order of first come, first serve. The first person in tonight is Felicia Chan from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajaan. When I meditate, I directly enter into emptiness, no thought at all. I continuous mindful, can feel the body, not me. 4 Lama Kantas come and go on its own. I remain mindful, peaceful, and calm when I practice in this level.
Not enough yet. You have to get the mind to become still. Just thinking completely.
That means full emptiness, right?
Yes, and you will feel sense of relief, sense of pleasure, sense of bliss.
Okay.
Sense of.
Okay, thank you. Ajaan, I always can feel a lot of air come out from the top of my head, and a fire getting bigger and bigger, burning my whole body. Very hot and painful. Whole body sweating. Sometimes I also feel my body poked by needles, and sometimes the pain feel like cut by a knife. Brother Ajaan, may I know why this happened?
You don't have to know. Just don't pay attention to it.
Okay.
Just keep meditating. Just keep watching your breath or reciting your mantra. But whatever happens, it's not important. You can treat them as anicca, dukkha, anatta. They rise and cease. They're like a mental, natural phenomena. Just don't have to worry about them. Just pay attention to your breath or to your mantra only.
Okay. Brother Ajaan, is this Ubeka level?
Not yet.
Okay.
If Ubeka level, your mind will be empty. No, nothing appears.
Okay. Thank you. Amutana Ajaan, Sadhu.
Okay. Next, Nanapat from Bangkok.
No question ค่ะท่านอาจารย์ Happy to listening in ค่ะ
Okay, Mudita from Bangkok also.
Good evening ค่ะท่านอาจารย์ I also have no questions today ค่ะ
Billy from Indonesia.
Good evening, Thanachan. I also don't have any questions. Thank you.
Sajoka from USA.
I don't have any question for the time being, but I will ask later. Thank you.
Okay, Yope from New York, USA. Go ahead, you can speak now.
Yeah. Good evening, Brother Ajaan.
I have two questions today. One's for my friend. My friend, she just want to know why, how come she, for his whole life, he could not sleep. And also he's getting with a dark place. She want to know what kind of karma does she have? Yeah.
She thinks too much. She doesn't have enough mindfulness. She have not able to control her thoughts. Her thoughts just keep running wild. So when she goes to sleep, the thought continue on and become dreams.
Okay. The next question about myself. I'm back to New York already. I'm back to work. And I'm working in the housekeeping job. And also, I always maintain my meditation and 5%. I want to know, I need to more advice from you and
On what?
no, about my speed, my talking, because sometimes I'm running is so fast. But yeah.
You cannot control your speech.
Yes.
That's because you don't have enough mindfulness. So you have to keep reciting mantra, and then you can slow down your thoughts, and then you can control your speech better.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is that all?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Professor Kenneth from Switzerland.
Yeah, hello, Ajaan. I would like to ask a question about love, from a Dhamma perspective. What is the essence of true love? And does this involve practicing all of the 4 Brahma Vihara?
Well, love, as we know it, there are 2 types of love. Love based on possessing the object that we love. And this is defilement type of love. Second, love without possession of the object that we love. And this is based on the mind that has equanimity. Once the mind has equanimity, it doesn't have any defilement. So it becomes pure love, become loving kindness. So if you want to develop this pure love, you have to develop upekkha. You have to do a lot of mindfulness and meditation until your mind can enter into upekkha, into jhana. Then you have contentment, so you don't need anything from anybody. So whatever you do for anybody is out of pure love. Love meaning that want people to be happy, want people to be free from suffering, for instance. Like the love of the Buddha gave to the human race, to us. He gave it without any condition, any demand for anything in return from us. Okay, so you want the second type of pure love, you need to develop meditation, develop mindfulness, in order to get to a mind that is contented with upekkha. When you're contented, then you don't want anything, you don't need anything, you're full, like your cup is full, your cup runneth over with joy, with bliss. So you don't need anything from anybody to make you happier. Because nothing can make you happier once you have this contentment. Then you can give freely. You can give without expecting anything in return. Okay.
Okay, Ajaan. Thank you very much. Very clear. Thank you.
Next, Gien So from Penang.
Ajaan, good evening. Ajaan, regarding the 4 items in Brahma Vihara, to me, upekkha is the most difficult to practice that because it's hard to to treat everybody equal, right? So I still need a lot of effort, to achieve this item. Yeah.
Yes, you need to meditate to get to this ubeka. Otherwise, it will be just imitating ubeka by trying to tell yourself you have to be nice to everyone, but in fact, your mind still is not in that position to do so. But once you meditate until your mind becomes have ubeka, then it becomes automatic, natural for you to have equal treatment for everybody. Sappe satta.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So meditate mindfulness. Keep maintaining mindfulness all day long if you can, and then sit as much as you can. And your mind will gradually enter closer to ubeka or jhana, fourth jhana. Once you get there, you'll feel different. You feel like a different person. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for your advice, Ajaan.
Okay. Next, Anuraji from New Zealand.
Hi, Tangajan. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't have any questions, Tangajan. I'm just listening and learning. Thank you.
Okay. Next, Rusli from Indonesia. Rusli.
I have no question. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Charles from Bangkok.
Ajahn, good evening. I have a few questions. Number one question is about sharing the mirror. You mentioned, I think I heard from you mention a few times that some meditators are not ready to share the mirror after meditation. The better way is maybe donate some material thing or cash, right? They're more sure, effective. My question is, how do we know level of meditation to do some preparation before the meditation? For example, after a meeting with friends, we go home to do the short mantra like Buddha or Amitofu or something, right? Another prefer chanting a long sutra, maybe half an hour, like Dhammatalk or Dhamma Sutra or something. Is any difference in the preparation of meditation to calm down our mind? The short mantra better, or the playing a sutra better? Any different between the two?
Not really. It does the same thing, whether you recite a mantra or you chant, because it will then stop your mind from thinking.
Okay.
That's the purpose, to bring your mind back into the present.
Okay.
And be ready to meditate and watch your meditation object.
Somebody told me that playing a sutra is better because the mantra sometimes we play become like background task. Just keep talking, playing. In fact, your mind is doing something else. But I think it depends on individual.
Personal, individual preferences.
Yeah, but for me, I think is it possible for the person achieve the Sudapan, the reborn, maximum 7 times reborn happen in heaven, not must come down to earth, man? Is it possible?
Yes.
Possible.
Yes, you can be a spiritual being in the realm of the devas, for instance, and then you can continue on with your practice.
And reborn up there, no need to come down, right?
Yeah, if you can get rid of your sensual cravings, your sexual desire.
Okay. That related to another question. Assuming 2 persons achieve Sudapan, 1 person also achieve the meditation, Samadhi or chant, right? Another person do not, right? Is there any different about these 2 persons?
No, they need to have chant both.
Both are chant. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that means that to drop the jhana, to drop the fetter, is not sufficient. That the person must also practice the samatha.
You need ubeka to be able to cut off your fetters, to resist your fetters.
All right. Okay. Okay, Ajahn, I think if I have any question, ask later. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Karen from San Jose, California. How are you?
Good morning, Ajahn. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Still reading the biography?
Yes, I am. It's
Okay.
it's going to take a while. There are probably going to be more than 70 recordings. Yeah, separate recordings of about 20 minutes each. So it's going to take time, but it's very interesting. I'm learning a lot.
Good.
I actually had a question and now I'm forgetting what it was. I guess that shows my mindfulness this morning. What was it? Oh, I have a question. If someone who is not Buddhist believes that they see Deva type beings among humans, do you think it's possible that that is actually what they're seeing?
Oh yes, you don't have to be Buddhist. Anybody can be psychic if they have developed this ability in their past lives.
That's interesting. And so if they believe it's something other than what Buddhists believe they're seeing, it's just their perception is just incorrect.
They can perceive things that in the psychic world that we ordinary people will does not perceive. Like spirit, sometimes they can perceive the dead person. Where is this dead person, or even communicate with this dead person? Like if you have time, the next time I want you to read another book about a Buddhist nun. She has this psychic power.
Oh, I would love that. I have not read any books about the nuns yet. That would be wonderful. See, I'm going to have to live a long time. So you're going to keep me alive for a very long time.
Her name is Mosquito, and she has this psychic power. She's a student of Ajaan Man. And so she has this psychic power in which every time she meditates, she will have spiritual beings come into contact with her. Sometimes it's a dead buffalo, sometimes it's a dead boa being killed by the hunter or something. And then they come and ask for advice, ask for merit from her. So it's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Maybe that's the next book, the biography of Machikal.
But that will make me hurry and finish this one. Because I'd love, yes, without going into a lot, my daughter and I do not communicate. It's sad. And she has, but I peek on her Facebook page. See, this is why I have to stay away from Facebook. It upsets me. And so, but she has began talking about how she sees Deva type beings. And I was wondering if she's become mentally ill. I know she smokes a lot of marijuana, but I wondered if it, after reading about Ajaan Mun seeing all these different spiritual beings, and I thought, I wonder if she's actually seeing them, but it's not just her imagination. It's just her perception is different than what mine would be.
Yes, sometimes it's difficult to judge whether a person is speaking the truth or not. Maybe it's something they see, but it's not real. It's just their mental fabrication. This is also possible.
I was just curious if it was possible, because she sees them as spiritual beings, positive beings that are among us, that not everybody can see. It's a little bit, I think, mental illness too. But anyway, I was just curious if I had always thought, oh gosh, she's just crazy. But I thought, maybe she is. After I've been reading about Ajaan Mun's experiences, maybe she is actually seeing
Yeah, it's
terrestrial
possible.
thing.
It's possible because the mind is universal. It isn't being blocked by any label like Christian or Buddhist or anything like that.
That makes complete sense. Thank you very much. And now I'm really excited. Now I'm going to finish this book. It'll take me a couple months probably, and then I'll start the
And
next
just take
one.
the time just to let you know.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit ahead of time.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. By the way, it was translated by Ajaan Dick. He's an American student of Dhamma, who has a monastery in Virginia.
I read about him. The one that I'm reading now, or both of them?
Yeah, this one is also, he translated this book also, I think.
Oh, he did. How interesting. You know, I saw his website and they look so cold, and they don't wear, I was talking to Professor Kenneth about this in Switzerland. The monks at least wear snow boots, and it looks like Ajaan Dick's monks are just wearing sandals in the snow. And I said, they
Yes,
must be
he tried to adhere to Ajaan Mahaprabhu's strict observance of the monastic code. So.
I said, but Ajahn Mun wasn't in the snow. My goodness, that looks so cold. Anyway, thank you.
Okay. In case you want to find the book, you can go into the same website where you get the biography of Ajahn Mun. If you scroll down a little bit down, you'll find the biography of Mechi Keo.
Oh, I better not do it until I finish this one because
no hurry. Just to let you know ahead of time.
I'll get distracted on that one. Okay, thank you.
All right. Next, Kafai Lim from Malaysia.
Good day to you, Tanajan. I have a question today about rebirth take place after death. Will there be a benefit of merit makings for the deceased person after like maybe a month or a year from the passing of the person?
Well, it depends on the status of that person, which birth that person is in. If it's in the Deva realm, then there's no need to make any merit for that person because he or she has plenty of merit and don't need to get merit from us. But if he or she is a hungry ghost, a hungry spirit, then he or she will need that merit from us. Since we don't know, so we just make presumption or just do it just in case. Since you're gonna do any charity already, you can share this merit from this charity, any charity that you do. So it doesn't hurt you to just share to the person that departed from this world. Just in case that person or that persons might be in need of the merit, you can then share this with them. So it's tradition in Thailand for Thai Buddhists. Every time they do dana, they also share this merit, just in case. Or else they can make it many. They can share with many other spirits that they don't know even.
Got it. Yeah.
Like Bhakta Mahaprabhu, he has one day, once a year, I think on the anniversary of his mother's death. So he invited all his disciples, followers, to make dana, and then share this dana to not just his mother, but to all the spiritual beings that has no relatives, to send them the merit that they can come and collect it from we Buddhists.
Okay, I got it.
Because there are many spiritual beings that might not have beliefs in this, or their relatives don't believe in this sharing of merit, so they will not get it from their relatives. So they might have to come and get it from those kind Buddhists who would share this merit to whichever spiritual being needs it.
Yes.
So if you don't feel you need to share with your friends or anybody, you can just share with anybody, just in case. If anybody is like beggar, they are like beggars, beggar for merit.
I know what to do. Yeah, just do merit making and then share to whoever.
Whoever
Yes.
you want.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn.
All right. Chong Ling, where are you from? Can't remember you. You have to unmute your microphone.
Yeah, good evening, Ajahn. I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Erie.
Yes. No questions today. I just want to express my thanks, and gratitude, for stumbling onto you and your teachings, the Dhamma teachings. So I'm just gonna continue to listen. I realize that I've got much to learn. I'm still in the early stages in this spiritual path compared to other people. So I'm very grateful to have found you. So I'm going to continue to listen. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Gary from Singapore.
Ajahn, no questions from me today.
Okay, your hand, Belinda from Singapore also.
Good evening, Ajahn. Ajahn, I have a question about helping living person to do merits. Tanja, can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. See, if I want to help my sister to do dana, do I have to ask her permission first, or I dana for her and I inform her?
No, she has to do it on her. You cannot do it for her. It has to be her own possession, and it has to come from her own initiation. She has to initiate it. She must have the desire to share her possession with other people.
So
Then when you cannot do it for her, or you cannot tell her to do it.
Okay.
You can invite her every time if you have any merit making activity, you can say, you want to join us or something like this. You can do this. And if you want to join, then she will be making merit. Like for instance, if you go to a certain monastery and they're building some accommodation and they need some contribution, then you can tell your sister, I'm doing this to this monastery, would you like to join or something like this? And it's up to her to decide whether she wants or not.
So I have to collect the money from her.
Well, she can send it directly to the monastery if she likes to, whichever method, doesn't matter.
So if I help her to dana with my own money, and then I say, okay,
No, not
I
your
cannot
own
do
money. Not your own money. It has to be her own money. Because she has to give, she has to sacrifice. That's the purpose of dana. To let go of your attachment to your wealth, really. That's what the purpose of. Because attachment to your wealth is like an anchor that prevents the boat from sailing. Before you can sail the boat, you have to lift up the anchor first. Before you can go to Nibbana, you have to give up your possession first. Like the Buddha, he had to give up his possession and go live as a monk. If you still cling to his possession, he will not be able to go live as a monk and become enlightened. So this is actually the purpose of charity or dana, to let go of your attachment to wealth or the physical comfort that you get from your wealth.
Another way is I went to Palelai and I seek monk's blessing for her. I show her photo to the abbot just to share. I dana to the monk, to the abbot, and then I requested the monk to bless my sister. Looking at the photo, does it work, Ajahn? But I did mention, after which I told my sister about this merit, and then she rejoiced. I thought her mood is better. So I'm not sure, Ajahn. So could Ajahn enlighten on all this? Is it making me feel better, or I'm helping my sister? There's a connection of sharing goodwill from an abbot or from a monk's blessing.
As far as the merit that you make, you cannot share it with her, but you can share the blessing from the monk. But blessing, it just works, it doesn't mean anything. If the monk bless you and you go steal money from other people, you can go to jail. You can still go to jail. So it's not the blessing from monks. It's each individual's action that counts. Good or bad karma. Dana is a good karma. It will give you good feelings after you perform dana.
So when I share with her, she feels happy. She feels being kept
That's
for.
superficial. That's superficial. It's not like doing it herself. Or else you don't have to do any dana. You sit there and wait for people to say, I've done some dana, I'm sharing with you. And you say, yeah, thank you. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Because you still attach and cling to your money and your wealth. But when you give up your wealth, you feel a sense of relief, like lifting a mountain off your chest. Oh, I'm happy to get rid of this money. It's a burden. I have to take care of it, looking after it, and worry about it. And when I die, I cannot take it with me anyway. So I want to keep it for. Better give it away, and you can feel a sense of happiness from giving this way.
So I just one thing I like to check with Ajahn.
Can you speak a bit louder? Cannot hear you.
Can you hear better?
Yeah, better now.
Sometimes we do live release animal, we release.
That's also dana. That's also dana.
So my sister likes to do that. She likes to dana. She likes to buy crabs.
Okay, you should invite her and ask her. Maybe you can join her one day. Say, let's go and save some cows or save some pigs from being slaughtered.
So she says she has obstacle because her husband doesn't believe in spending money. Because the chemotherapy and all, they have been spending quite a fair bit. So
well, if they cannot afford it, then don't push it.
Yeah.
If they
So
cannot afford,
I
they
suggested
can do
something.
some other type of merit. They can keep the precept. They can meditate. Merit doesn't mean you have to give to charity only.
So I suggested something cheaper, like releasing crickets that are going to be fed to animals or fishes. Like it's cheaper. So I release crickets. I don't release expensive animals. So then I suggested something that we can afford.
Yes, that's right. Do what you can afford.
Yeah. Is there anything else we can do, Ajahn, to build merit for her? Or
Tell her to listen to Dhammatalk. Join our discussion group.
I will send the invitation and let the Dhamma works.
That's right.
For her. Thank you so much, Ajahn. It's very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Johanna from Indonesia.
Hello, Thanachan. Right now, I don't have any question. I'm listening and learning, Thanachan.
Okay, Adeline and Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Thanachan. Thanachan, I have a question regarding to the practice. Okay, we usually ask in this forum that what is the last time that we can eat solid food, which is usually around solar moon, the solar noon. My question is, what is the prescribed time that one can take solid again the next day if we are practicing the 8 precept?
At sunrise, not at midnight, not 1 minute after midnight. That's International Day of Reckoning, but according to the ancient Buddhist Day of Reckoning is sunrise. A new day starts at sunrise.
Right. Okay. So in, like, for example, in Malaysia, our sunrise is not 6 o'clock, it's about 7-ish, because we changed the time for some political reason. So that should be the time that we can consume solid, right?
Well, in ancient time, we don't have clock, so the way we determine a new day is by reaching our palm, our hand out and look at our palm. If you can see the lines on your palm, then it's a new day. It's daylight. Or you can look at the leaves. You can look at the leaves and they all look separate. They're not clumped together, and that means it's a new day.
Okay. Understand that.
So you don't have to worry about the clock. Just look at the real thing. Look at the daylight and the light.
It usually,
because it's changing year round. See, sunrise keeps changing year round. Every day, actually. 1 minute or two earlier, or 1 minute or two later, it just keeps going back and forth.
Okay.
So the Thai forest tradition, we don't use clock. We look at the leaves or look at the palm of our hand.
okay, understand.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. What about you, Adeline? No question from you.
No question right now. I had one, but it just slipped my mind. Not very mindful today. So,
Okay. And maybe later.
yeah, maybe later.
Kok Sing from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. Tonight I have a question. One of my friend's mother, she's very seriously ill in the hospital, intensive care, and this friend is requesting for me to send metta to the mother. So my question is, how do I go about sending metta to my friend's mother?
Yeah, you go visit her. You go visit her and bring some gift to her. Give her some gift.
But presently, because of the COVID, they do not allow. There are some restrictions on visitors. So
You can order and let them send to the hospital.
Okay. Okay. So send some gifts to her mother at the hospital.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Or some money. If they need money, just send some money for. Then they can pay for the medicine and whatever. But maybe it's not traditional, because sometimes sending money is considered to be rude. So instead of you send something you can use, like flowers or things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Flowers or chicken accents.
Anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Sri and Czech from Vancouver.
Ajahn.
Hello, Ajahn.
Yeah, I really like the picture, Ajahn, on your Facebook. The picture of the cooties on the couch on. Yeah, the kuti, the lots of pictures of the monks kuti. Yeah, it's really nice environment.
Yeah, no electricity, no running water, no toilet. You use the forest as your toilet.
Oh, no
like
toilet.
The animals they don't build toilets, right?
Oh,
that's what monks do when they go into the forest. They don't build toilets. They just have a shack they can spend. They can be protected from the sun and the rain. And they just use the toilet like the animals do.
Oh, no water, Ajahn. No water.
Well, usually you have to stay near a water source, and then maybe you fetch it. Or in our case, we have water tank that we can collect the rainwater and use that.
Oh, rainwater. Oh.
But we have a central bathroom, but it's a long walk sometimes. Sometimes in emergency case, you might not be able to make it. And you just use the forest as your toilet.
And how far, like, is the kuti far apart from each other?
Yeah, some take maybe 5 or 10 minutes to walk to get there. Because of the difficulty of the path also. Yes. You're walking on a steep hillside. So yeah, to be very careful not to fall.
So the monks walk down, like up and down every day to.
Usually once you go up, you don't want to come down, only when you really have to.
For Pindabat.
That's right, for Bintabat or for helping sweeping the ground in the afternoon.
So
but some are near, some you can walk within 1 or 2 minutes. So some are very far away. It depends on the meditator. Some like to go far away, so then they don't want to be near anybody. So they choose the one that is very far, very high on top.
But they no, there's no sending food to them, like
Although everybody has to go to the Bintabat in the morning to collect food and eat. Once they finish eating, then they come up to the mountain, and they don't worry about food until the next day.
It's good to have a glimpse of the kutis. Yeah.
So Tan Ajahn, the meditator like live in this kind of like environment, it will excite their mindfulness.
Well, it will enhance their mindfulness because they have to be very careful because you don't know who's gonna visit you or come across. You can have some snakes or some lizard or some animals. We have some deer, some monkeys up there also.
No tiger, Ajahn?
No tiger.
Okay.
No dangerous animal. No wild, like tiger or elephants or anything like that. Small animals.
Yeah, I saw the deers. I saw the deers in the video, in your video.
I just want to show the environment, just in case you wonder what a good place to practice is. Usually it's like that. It's very down to earth, very simple, but very quiet, very remote.
Yeah.
Very quiet. No distraction from the sensual objects. It's a good place to cultivate Dhamma, to practice Dhamma. Okay, any question from you?
Tan Ajahn, like Avijja Paccaya Sankhara, how to, like, when we recite Buddho, that is to stop it, right?
Yeah,
stop it.
You stop avijja by using Dhamma. See, Buddha is Dhamma.
Yeah.
Normally you'll think about where to eat, what to see, what to hear, what to drink, and so forth. So you stop this by reciting Buddha. When you stop, then you stop sankhara from generating the desire. Then you don't send the vijnana toward the sensual organs. You don't use your eyes, ears to go search for sensual objects. You stop the process once you use Dhamma. Either mindfulness or wisdom. If you use wisdom, you think that all the sensual objects will sooner or later hurt you, not give you happiness, but it can also hurt you when you lose the things that you love, or not be able to get the things that you love. So then this will stop the sankhara from thinking about going after the sensual objects. Then it can remain just inside.
Okay. Yeah, I see this like the sanya and sankhara is the one that causing my mind keep reacting and proliferating. Like even something upset me, but they keep coming out. But then I need effort, like to recite Buddha. Like after a while, it will goes away, but not instant. So
It takes time because the strength of your mindfulness is still very weak.
Yeah.
So it takes a while to build up the strength to be able to stop your perception and your thoughts.
Yeah, okay.
That's why you have to be persistent and you have to be diligent in reciting the mantra. Don't wait until you have to do it, because by then it will be very difficult to stop. Like fire.
Yeah.
You should have the water ready before the fire starts. You know? So as soon as the fire starts, you can then use the water to douse it. But if you wait until the fire starts and go look for water, it's too late. Too hard to stop the fire.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. More effort.
That's why you have to do a lot of mantra even when you don't really need to stop your thought. You want to practice.
Yeah.
Get into the habit of using the mantra. So when you need to stop your thought, you can use it right away.
Yeah.
Or if you want to use wisdom, you have to think of it. Anicca, dukkha, anatta all the time. So as soon as you want to use it, you can then apply it right away. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ajahn, can I clarify you? Is that aren't we supposed to stop thinking? But you were saying use anicca, dukkha, anatta, like.
See, if you use anicca or dukkha anatta, you'll see the thing that you want is cause will hurt you, and it's dukkha. Because the thing that you want, sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't have it. It's anicca, it's impermanent. It's anatta, you cannot always keep it with you, or force it to be with you all the time. So you have to look at the objects of your desire, that it is anicca, it's anatta, and it will cause you disappointment or sadness when you cannot have it. This is something you have to study beforehand. Not do it when you have the desire, because as soon as you have the desire, all rational just gone, and all you want is want to have that object regardless of what. You know. But if you think ahead of time, beforehand, that this object it's anicca, it's impermanent, it's not lasting, you might have it at first, but what happens when you lose it or when it goes away? Then you will have dukkha instead of happiness. This is something you have to study beforehand, so that when you anytime you have the desire for anything, then you can apply this knowledge to remind your mind that you're going after dukkha, you're not going after anything really. Because the thing you go after, sooner or later, you will have to lose it. And when you lose it, you cry, right? You blame other people, but you don't blame yourself. People, when they do something, they ask, why? Why do they have to go? You know, why do they have to be gone? That's because that's the nature of everything in this world. They are all temporary. They are not permanent. But you never look at things like that. You always think, whatever you want is going to be with you and give you all the happiness all the time. And that's not the case. That's why you have to constantly teaching your mind the changing nature, the temporary nature of things, until you can see it clearly all the time. When you can see it clearly all the time, then you don't want anything.
So either we practice mindfulness or either we think of this like Dhamma.
Yeah, but normally it's difficult to think like this because you always like to think the opposite. When you see something, you think it's gonna be permanent, right? Forever in love, not live together forever, until death do we part, something like that. Even that, when you part, you still cry, right? Even at death.
True.
So all the happiness that you had previously will be all gone and replaced by sorrow and sadness. When you lose something you love.
So Ajahn, is it correct? Is it the right practice that when I feel when I'm more restless, I use a lot of Buddha, but when I'm calmer, I like to think of the 3 characteristics just to prepare for the future.
That's right, because when your mind is calm, then it's easier to think rationally. When your mind is not calm, your mind is very emotional. It's usually driven by your desire. And no matter how you try to convince your mind that this is bad for you, you still want to have it anyway, right?
Right.
Okay.
So when you cannot use wisdom, use mindfulness, use mantra. At least you can have a temporary fix first.
Yeah.
And even that is difficult if you don't practice beforehand. So you have to try to practice even when you are not in crisis, even when you don't need to stop your thought, you still want to practice it just in case. When you really need to stop your thought, then you can use it.
Ajahn, but when we are thinking about the tilakana, the 3 characteristics, it's okay to do that, right, Ajahn? Like that's not.
Yes, it is okay, and maybe some of them is useful because you might have a certain amount of understanding about the 3 characteristics in regarding to a certain object, but not all objects. Some other objects you might not see it as 3 characteristics yet. But in fact, every object, all sensual objects, all have, all have these 3 characteristics as their nature.
I usually go for things that I'm attached the most, like love and attached the most. So like yeah, that I know that it's going to be painful when I lose it. So I try to do the 3 characteristics.
Yeah, you can remind yourself that the things that you love, the people that you love is anicca, dukkha, anatta. But you don't want to think that way because when you think, it makes you feel sad. So that's the problem.
So Buddha when Buddha is bad, like the using Buddha to calm the mind is.
To calm the mind first until the mind becomes neutral, becomes rational, then you can then teach the mind the truth of the 3 characteristics. It will be more easier for it to accept than when the mind is not calm, when it is not rational.
Oh, so Tan Ajahn, quick thing, like the best is after meditation, if my mind still calm, then I'll direct the mind to go and think of this.
No, when the mind is calm, you want to maintain calm for as long as possible first. Until your mind no longer remain in calm, start thinking, then you can then use the thinking to think in terms of the 3 characteristics.
Oh, okay.
But you want to make the mind still for as long as possible first. Because the longer the mind becomes still, the longer your upekkha will be.
Oh, okay.
So when you meditate, when your mind starts to become still, you don't start contemplating. You wait, you keep the mind still for as long as possible. Until it can no longer remain still. Then when start to think, then you then can start to think in terms of anicca, dukkha, anatta. To the things that you love, to the people and things that you love. This house is temporary. I won't live in this house forever. You know, these people I know, I won't be with them forever. Everything that you own, even your own body, you're not gonna be with it forever. Everything that the mind comes in possession with, or in contact with, are all anicca, dukkha, anatta. It's just how much you can think and how much you can expand out to all the objects that you become involved with. You can do this after you come out from meditation. But when you're meditating and your mind is still, don't do anything. Try to prolong the still for as long as possible by using your mindfulness to stop your mind from thinking. Not encouraging it to think. You go in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's so helpful. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Who's next? Om and Am. 2 boys and girls. 2 sisters, brother and sister. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, you can.
Hello. This Friday, I will go to get the vaccine, and I don't know what to do.
Just get it. You don't need to do anything. Just go and.
Because I'm scared of needles.
It's like scratch. Yeah. It's like a mosquito bite. Not painful at all. Don't worry. Okay. When they give you the shot, just recite Butto, Butto, Butto.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Next, Ubeka from Brazil.
Hi, Vante.
Hi. Still Ubeka?
Yes.
Okay.
Only
Still
practice.
equanimity.
Yes, Bhavana, Sati, Sampajana, Anapanasati.
Good. Always happy all the time.
More or less.
Oh, that's good. No sadness, no worry, no anxiety.
No looks for life. Last week, one week ago, I did a tattoo.
Tattoo.
Yes.
What for?
Buddha in my leg.
Oh, Buddha in your leg.
Yes.
Why in your leg? Why not on your forehead? Because Buddha considered to be high, you should put it above your head, not on your foot.
Yes. I have in my arm the meditation, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, né?
Okay.
Lotus, for the lotus. Bhavana Society.
They are your teacher. You have to put them higher than you, above you, not below you, not on your foot or on your leg.
Yes, but by the way, when he's painting, very pain, eh?
Yes.
Because six hours to painting, and I concentrate in one point in my brief.
Yes, and you feel no pain.
Yeah, pain. Yes, pain, but
No
it's
dukkha,
control.
no dukkha.
No dukkha. I smile,
Yeah,
and
you can
concentrate.
smile. Okay.
Smile. Less paint.
Why bother in the first place?
What?
Why bother tattoo in the first place?
I have in arm
Yeah.
the Buddha. Sunyata. Sunyata is a circle.
Yeah.
Né? Not complain the circle. Circle and not complain. Is a space to escape. A little space.
You tattoo in the wrong place. You should tattoo it in your mind. Buddha,
Yes,
Buddha,
yes,
Buddha.
yes.
Or sunyata. It's in your mind.
Yes.
That's why you want them to be, not in your body.
Yes. Last week your Dhamma talking is very good to me, to training more nirodha, more escape the world is very important. The life is very beautiful, but is not have end. Is infinite. Not have space. Space is infinite.
Infinite, yeah. Okay.
Space is infinite. Sunyata.
Mind is infinite. The mind is infinite.
The mind is infinite.
Yeah.
Not fight with
Not
the mind. The mind is infinite. The infinite is height level, né? Is Arupa Jhana's height level. But is imagination, né, Bante? The important is to do. You say very, very good. The important is to do meditation, not imagination. Not the important is you.
Yeah, because imagination is not real. Meditation is real.
It's not real. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I like forest practitioners because he practice more, né, Bante? Not very study. More practitioner. Very good.
Okay. Next, Margareta from Indonesia.
Hello, Ajahn.
Any question?
Yeah, a bit. Just I don't know. Wait, I don't know how to start. So my situation is like my work, my business is not in a very good condition, and then I start to only focus about my work, and then I stop practicing, and then I want to start again, and I start from Buddha, but it's still not good enough to maintain my calm, and I am still not focused in my meditation. And then I start again with the meditation sitting, and then I start to stop practice for a while. Then I try to see this life like in my third party view, and then it helps me a lot. So I'm wondering whether my practice is in the right way. So I just try to make my mind out of this life, this circle, this hecticness, and then I start seeing that, like I can always say, like this is all is impermanent. And then I try, and then but I still cannot focus in my sitting meditation, walking meditation, something like that. So I don't know whether is there any suggestion for me that how to start again with the practice, because sometimes like my mind really not in a good state right now. So I don't know where to start again.
Well,
I think like I must start from.
You have to start with mindfulness and just take time, just be patient and just keep being mindful, and then sit whenever you have the time to meditate. If you're not meditating, you should always be mindful at all times. and be patient. You cannot expect the result to come right away. It might take days or months with consistent and persistent practice. But if your practice is up and down and on and off, then it's very difficult, very hard to get any progress from this type of practice. If you expect any progress or any result, your practice has to be continuous.
I'm trying. That's why I joined the Zoom again. Will start
Yeah.
again.
So you can start anytime, but once you start, you should not stop. You should maintain the level of your practice from the lower level to the higher level. Maybe from whatever you can do now, and then try to do more as you go. Then your result will be forthcoming. But it takes time. You just can't expect to restart your practice 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 sessions and then expect to see any result at all. The only result you get is the work that you put in so far, but it's not enough to produce any result yet. But you need the work first before you can get the result. So keep working on your practice, keep practicing, and don't worry about the result. When the time comes, it will appear naturally by itself.
I
So you have
tried
to
from
be
the lowest
patient.
stage. Yeah.
Just keep practicing. That's all. Don't worry about the result. When it's time for it to appear, it will appear. When it's not yet the time, it will not. So it's not something you can force it to come up. It's only your practice that will make it happen. So keep on practicing, don't stop. Increase it as you go. Increase more and more as you go.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
All
That's it,
right.
Ajahn. I don't have any question.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Next, Jessica, still in Bangkok, like Thailand somewhere.
I'm still on Earth, Thanachan.
On Earth,
Hello.
okay.
Yes, I'm still here.
Still in samsara. Still in samsara.
Yes, my body is still in samsara, but my mind is not. So I made already the reservation. I will be practicing. I will be going there on the 4th and the 6th with my friend. So yes,
Okay.
Thanachan.
At one yan for 3 nights. Yeah. 4, 5,
Yes.
6.
I would actually prefer longer, but maximum is 7 days.
Mhm.
So, and we could get only 3 days. So that's okay. I'm
Yeah.
still practicing mindfully every day, though. There is a question which I have, though, Thanachan. So with my daily practice, I'm just being fully aware of my movements, but also as with everything that I do in my daily activities. I'm at that point where there is a name, but there is no more name. I don't know if you understand what that means. It's like you just there's not really anything that I'm attached to. I'm trying to find something that I can be attached to, but I'm a bit uncertain what to do now.
Be attached to meditation. That's what you should be
Yeah.
attached to.
Mhm. But the Tanajan is meditation. It's not just sitting and closing your eyes, isn't it? It's the way you live.
It's the way you develop mindfulness, samadhi, and wisdom. These are
Yes.
the 3 things that you want to develop.
Yes.
Mindfulness to get to ubeka. Once you have ubeka, you want to study the nature of things, the 3 characteristics.
Mm.
This is what you should be addicted to or attached to.
I've been starting a strike instead of looking at my phone while I'm riding the MRT or the train. I've been reading Dhamma books on the train. I've been advocating this on the train, because once you get on the train, you see so many people with their phones, and they're not within, they're outside of themselves. So I hope that it can actually inspire somebody to come back and enjoy reading books, even Dhamma books, especially your books, Tanajan. I need more books from you the next time I see you. So thank you for that as well. So hopefully we'll see us on the 4 to 6, Tanajan.
Okay. All right. Is that all?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Next, Alvin from Malaysia.
Hi, good evening, Tanajan. Tanajan, referring to what Chek and Sri was asking just now, you're saying that when you reach Upeka, you continue with the Upeka, then come out and contemplate after that. So the longer the Upeka that you're able to maintain, so when you come out, you'll be able to contemplate longer, right, Tanajan?
Yes, you'll be able to contemplate on things that you normally wouldn't want to contemplate on, such as death or super. So when your ubeka becomes weaker, then your defilement becomes stronger, and then your defilement will try to distract you to go to think about other things instead.
So the longer the better in Upeka, then you got longer period to contemplate.
Right, so you want to contemplate until it sinks into your mind. Yeah. Okay. Until you remember it. Like studying, if you concentrating on what you study, you can remember a lot more than if your mind is distracted, right?
Yes, yes.
Same thing. It's like studying, but different in the subject. Yeah, we study the three characteristics as the subject of our study. So we want to be able to study these three things until it sinks into our mind. We remember it all the time. Right now we don't remember it all the time, right? We talk about it for months and years now.
Years already.
And we forget right after we finish this class, we start to forget about what anicca is all about, right? We start to worry about our body, for instance. If you have the truth of anicca in your mind, you will not worry about your body, because you know your body is anicca. So what is there to worry about?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So
basically, you're not committing it into your mind yet. It's still a memory or just imagination. Occasionally when you think about it, that's all, but not all the time.
Yeah. It's more like a theoretical. Like you just
sanya, we call it sanya, not panya. Sanya is something you remember, then you forget.
Correct.
But panya, you will not forget once it's panya. It's ever present. So you want to see everything, especially your body, as anicca, as ever present. So whatever gonna happen to your body cannot hurt your mind, because your mind know ahead of time that this is gonna happen anyway. Sooner or later, something gonna happen to the body, right?
Yes. Okay.
So that's the reason why you have to contemplate with a new mind free from defilement, temporarily free from defilement. But after a while, your ubeka will become weakened and disappear. Then your mind will not be able to contemplate on the anicca anymore.
Okay.
Then you start thinking about other things.
Yeah, that will usually be the case at Tanajan.
Mm-hmm. So you have to stop contemplating and go back into meditation again to regenerate more ubeka. This is the thing you have to keep doing, the cycle between contemplation and meditation.
Because your day-to-day activities will actually disturb your calmness.
But if you're not like on Couchion, where you have a place by yourself and nothing else, then you can do this all day long. See, meditating and contemplating, meditating and contemplating.
Correct.
And then one day it will sing in your mind, and then you will have no more worry about your body.
Right. One more question, Ajahn, referring to Belinda's question in terms of doing dana. If I want to do dana and then other people contribute, all these other people that contribute, it doesn't matter whether it's small or big, up to their capability, they will get the merits as well, right? But only one person that actually go and physically do the dana.
You get the dana that is your own money. Other people money, you don't get that.
And those people will get the merit, right?
That's right. Each individual merit, even though they do it through you, you might be the person who do the dana for them, but it's their money, and so it's the merit. It's just like a messenger.
Thanks, Tanajan.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next, Pai Lai. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes. Good evening, Tanajan. No, it's just Pepe.
Pepe Lai. Okay.
Yes,
Where are you
my
from?
surname. I'm actually from Malaysia.
Okay. Any question?
No questions from me tonight. Just listening in and learning a lot. Thank you.
Okay. B. Ravin from Bangkok.
Good evening to you, Tanajan. Well, I think a lot of questions that I had in my mind today were already answered, so maybe I'll just rephrase one. It's regarding the 5 khandhas. Tanajan, I noticed sometimes that they become a hindrance to me when I meditate. You know, sometimes, especially sankhara, I notice that whenever my mindfulness or concentration just drops by a bit, sankhara will come in and my mind will start to wander off. And so my question is, would using a mantra, would it help, or should I just stop and just start again? I know
It's not what you use, it's what you lack. See, either Buddha watching the breath, you lack this because you don't develop them more before you meditate. See? So you have to do more before you meditate, not just to do it while you're meditating. That's why I always recommend from the time you get up, as soon as you open up your eyes, start your mindfulness first. Then either focusing on your body movement, reciting a mantra. If you can do this throughout the day and when you meditate, then your mind will not be able to slip away. Your thought will not be able to interfere with your concentration. Because you keep it under control long before you meditate. So you lack the preparation. You want to do the preparation while you do meditation. So you cannot do much. So it's always mindfulness before meditation. Before sitting meditation, you have to be mindful. You have to keep stopping your sankhara before that. Stop thinking. That's why I teach people to use this mantra. Stop thinking, or don't think. Don't think. As soon as you open up your eye, when you start thinking, say, don't think, don't think. Just do what you have to do and don't think. You have to take a shower, eat, you know, don't think. Just do what you need to do and don't think. Think only when you really have to, like when you go to work or something. Then you can do this when you meditate, then you can tell the mind not to think. Focus on your breath. Stay with your mantra. Then you will not think. Because you have done the preparation before you start to meditate. This is the difficult part. The preparation part. The meditation part is easy because it's brief. You want to sit there for a few minutes. But the preparation, you have to do it all day long. The more you do it, the stronger your mindfulness will become. Then it will be easier for you to meditate and get into samadhi very easily and quickly.
That's true, Thanajan, because I notice, sometimes when I'm not so pressed with time, I tend to listen to Dhamma talks, as like you suggested, or read books before I meditate, and I find that it's easier. But sometimes when I'm pressed for time and I just, I need to meditate now, I find that, it's not as effective. So maybe I need to have better preparation before I meditate.
And also your attitude toward meditation could also be a hindrance. If you expect, I want result, I want my mind to be calm, then this can become a hindrance also. Because you'll keep waiting for the result and wondering when it's going to happen. And you're not meditating, you're not focusing, you're not reciting the mantra. You keep thinking about when it's going to happen, when your mind becomes calm again. If you do this, you will not get the result. So when you meditate, don't expect any result. Don't set a goal for the result, set a goal for the cause. Be mindful of your meditation object. This is what you should put your mind toward, not toward the result. The result comes after the cause. The cause is to pay attention to your meditation object, not to pay attention to the result, the forthcoming result. Don't anticipate the result. That's what I'm saying.
So just one step at a time. Just
be patient and be more or less relaxed. No tense. Sometimes tension can also be a hindrance, but not too relaxed. If you're too relaxed, you might lose your mindfulness. So you have somewhere, take a middle path between relax and tension, somewhere in between. Not too relaxed and not too tense. You have to prepare this before you meditate. That's why you need to be alone. You need to go up to Kauchiwa and stay for a few days alone in a hut. And then you can then be mindful all the time without thinking and stop thinking, because there's nothing for you to do there.
That's true. It's a lot of distractions in the world.
I always compare when you meditate in the world, it's like driving under the freeway. When you go to a forest retreat, it's like driving on the freeway. It's different. The speed is different. The ability to move is different. So you need to go up on the freeway sometime if you want to go faster.
No traffic.
No cross traffic, no. Yeah. Everything flow very quickly. Okay, any more questions from you?
Yeah, I just have one more, Thanajan. I was listening to one of your talks earlier. You mentioned about a sotapanna or any attainment will go with you for the rest of your life and the next life until you become enlightened. So does that mean that if any of us were able to attain it and we pass away, and in the next life we are born into a world where there's no Buddhism present, we will still be able to teach ourselves to enlightenment?
Yes, once you have started the level of sotapanna, you have to enter the stream that will lead you to nibbana eventually, without having to have anybody to guide you. Like once you get on the freeway, you don't need a map. The freeway will get you to the destination you want to go, right?
Yes.
And it has sign all along the way, which so you cannot get lost on the freeway if you keep watching the sign.
So it's permanent. It's something that will stick with
Yes,
us.
and it's one way.
It will
It's
not
one
go
way.
away.
You will not lose the distance that you have covered. Once you are Sotapanna, you will not lose it. You just keep moving on forward more. Go higher, higher until eventually you get to the highest level.
So it's something that we should strive towards. But coming back to your previous point, it's just, okay, focus on the breath. Stay mindful as long as possible. And then whatever results that will come, they will come when they are ready to,
That's right.
to bear fruit, correct?
On the level of mindfulness, the result is the mind becomes still and have equanimity. But on the level of wisdom, then you have to constantly study the nature, the three characteristic nature of things that you're still in process with. You still own, like your body was.
Yeah, I was just thinking of what you told me the other day. Are you mindful all the time? And I said, sometimes. So I have to change that sometimes into all the time.
That's right. The Buddha said mindfulness is necessary at all times, at all situations. So you should start with, when you start waking up in the morning, you should start your mindfulness practice right away and see how long you can keep it up. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 5 seconds, 10 seconds. You might start thinking about, oh, what am I going to do today now? Where am I going to be?
Oh, that's a good challenge, Thanajan. I'm going to try that out. I'm going to see how much mindfulness I'm going to have.
Yeah.
That's really good advice, Thanajan. Thank you so much.
All right. You have to start with the alphabet when you study, right? When you study, you have to start with the A, B, C. When you sing, you have to start with the do, re, mi, right?
The sound of music.
Yeah. When you meditate, you have to start with mindfulness. Okay.
Yeah, I need to think of a rhyme for that, but thank you, Thanajan.
All right. I think everybody has the chance to answer the question. Does Sammy, I just saw him early on, does he wants to come in and talk? He turned off his video right now. So I'll go to Facebook first, okay? Anybody, any Facebook question?
Yes, we have right now 6 questions altogether. The first question is a 2-part question. It's from Yapto Yap. Namaste Ajahn. I saw a monk wearing a tight t-shirt in a monastery and talking to some people in there. Is this a violation of the Vinaya?
Well, it depends on how you interpret the Vinaya sometimes here. Like with with monks who live in the cold country, they find it necessary to put on more warm clothes. So they might put a t-shirt under their robe or something like that. And showing that. So, but in the Thai forest tradition in Thailand, it's not so cold, so we don't put any other clothes on except the robe of monks. And we also have sweater, but sweater would only have without having any show exposing the sweater when you wear the robe. It's what we call half shoulder sweater. It covers only half of the shoulder. So when we put on the robe, the sweater under will not show when we put on the robe.
The second part is, what is the difference between Samatha and Vipassana in meditation?
Samatha means calming the mind to make it still and have equanimity. Vipassana is to study the nature of things, that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta.
The next question is from Annie Shimi. Sadhu Ajahn, during meditation when we practice to send metta, can living beings like humans receive it?
No, you have to give it when you meet people. You don't give them when you're alone. You cannot give things to people when you're alone. You can only give things when you meet people. So when you meet people, you say hello, say how are you, wish them good luck or something like that. This is metta, showing metta or friendliness. Metta means friendliness, loving kindness. So you have to do it when you're with people or animals. But when you're alone, you cannot do metta.
The next question is from Sam Fernando. A recent FB post from your page shows some meditation kutis. Do you conduct meditation retreats for lay people? Please advise.
No, the retreat is individual. Everybody know what they have to do. It's more for advanced practitioners, not for beginners.
The next question is from Annie Shimi. Do Theravada teaching encourage us to release animal? Normally, it was strongly practiced by Mahayana followers.
Well, it's one of the charity that we can do as Buddhists. It's called dana. Dana is giving. You can give money, giving medicine to help people. If they're sick, you give them medicine. If they're gonna be killed, you pay for their life once, and you. So this is what giving is. So releasing animal is to release those animals that is supposed to be killed, and then you buy their life for them.
The next question is from Terry Shi. This body of mine attracts mosquitoes very easily all the time. What may I do to stop getting mosquito bites without using insect repellent if I want to experience meditation in the forest or go to a meditation retreat? May Ajahn please be kind to provide some guidance.
We use mosquito net. Monks use mosquito net when they practice meditate in the forest. They have an umbrella, like an umbrella, and they use the mosquito net hang from the umbrella, and they sit under the umbrella with the mosquito net surround them.
And the next question is from Eddie Gan. Good evening, Prajan. Is jaitana, intention, part of the 5 aggregate? Thank you.
Well, it comes from the 5 aggregates. You have to have thoughts and perception to have intention. You have to think of what you want to do. So you use sanya and sankhara to produce intention.
That's all we have so far, Ka.
Anybody in the room would like to ask more questions, you're welcome to raise your hand and unmute your microphone. Karen? Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have a question. For people like me who are stuck in the city and I don't have the resources to go on a retreat anywhere right now, do you have any advice on if going somewhere quiet and wonderful like where you are is not an option, at least at the moment? What are some advice for how to deal with practicing with distractions? What I'm doing, one of the things that's helping me is I get up very early before it's noisy here, and that's not always 100%, but it's much better. If I get up at 4 a.m, it's usually quiet for a couple of hours, and then it's crazy around here. Do you have any other advice? So it means that I would like to meditate more during the day, but there's just so much noise, and I'm just not good at ignoring the noise yet. So any advice?
Can you use earplugs? Put on earplugs.
Okay, that's a good, that would help.
Yeah, that would help. That will at least decrease the noise, maybe to the level that won't bother you.
Okay, so just practical things like that.
Yeah, practical thing like that. Try to, if you can, insulate a room where you can be quiet in that room. spend some money, some investment, and ask some people to come and put sound insulation in the room for you.
You know, that's really interesting. I actually looked, you can actually buy a little sound booth.
That's right, and go in there anytime you want to meditate.
You know, I looked at that a while ago and I completely forgot about that. I could look into that again.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Thank you. Okay.
Anybody else? Looks like nobody, huh?
Nanapat.
Okay, Nanapat.
ค่ะท่านอาจารย์ May I ask ท่านอาจารย์ to explain more about the knowing element and the body ค่ะ
Well, the knowing element is the one that knows and that thinks. It's not part of the body. Okay, the body is made up of the other 4 elements: the earth, the water, the fire, and the wind element. When they combine, they become the 32 parts of the body. While the knowing element attached to the body, the 4 elements, and use the body as the medium to get to the sensual objects. Like we need the eyes before we can see. We need the ears before we can listen, can hear. So the mind, the knowing element, can send vijnana, which we call the stream of consciousness, to connect to the body, to the sensual object, to the sensual organs. The stream of consciousness will go five different directions. One goes to the eyes, the other goes to the nose, the ears, the tongue, and the body. So then when the sensual objects come into contact with these sensual organs, the mind will then be able to perceive, to know what these objects are. So this is what the knowing element is. The knowing element is not the 4 elements, not the body. The body is the combination of the 4 elements: the earth, water, wind, and fire element. While the knowing element just connect to this body through the stream of consciousness that the knowing element has. The knowing element has 4 capabilities, has the ability to send the stream of consciousness to connect to the sensual object, to the sensual organs. Then it has the ability to feel, which we call jaitana, have the ability to think, we call sankhara, and has the ability to perceive or to remember, we call sanya. So this is the difference between the 5 elements. The 4 elements make up the body, while the fifth element is the knowing element. Connect to the body, to use the body as the medium to be able to receive the sensual objects, which the knowing element crave for, desire for. The practice, the goal is to stop the craving inside the knowing element, so that it doesn't no longer have to connect to a body. Because by connecting to a body, it has to look after the body. And then it has to also eventually lose the body, which causes suffering to arise in the knowing element. Without the craving for the body, the craving for the sensual objects, then there will be no need to have a body to connect to. Then there will be no suffering that can cause the mind from the impermanent nature of the body, such as aging, sickness, and death of the body. Okay? The sixth element is the space element in which the body exists on.
Eventually, the knowing element will be separate from the 5 elements, right?
Yeah, permanently. The Buddha element, the knowing element of the Buddha and Arahant, they don't connect to the body, to the physical world, to the physical universe anymore. They live in the spiritual universe. Actually, all the knowing element exists in the spiritual universe, but due to craving, the knowing element with craving will send the stream of consciousness to connect to the physical world, to the physical body. So whatever happened to the body doesn't really happen to the knowing element. When the body dies, there's just a disconnection, that's all, from the body. The knowing element becomes disconnected from the body. The knowing element doesn't die with the body.
If we have this knowledge, so we don't have the fear of death, right, Ajahn?
That's right. Yeah. So now you have the knowledge, but you still have fear, right? That's because your mind doesn't want to accept this knowledge yet. So you have to make it to accept by forcing it to equanimity, to have equanimity. When it has equanimity, then it will stop resisting the knowledge. It will accept the knowledge. Right now we know the knowledge, but the mind doesn't want to accept this knowledge. The mind still have this craving for owning the body, keeping the body.
We don't have enough power to accept it.
To stop the attachment of the cravings. So we cannot accept the truth.
So we should have enough equanimity, right?
Right, because when you have equanimity, you're actually disconnecting from the body. When you meditate, you are actually disconnecting the stream of consciousness from the 5 sensual organs.
That's enough.
Okay, Charles, Bangkok.
Yeah, and I have one question, a funny question, but maybe practical, about karma in relationship. So assuming in many life, we, like the husband and wife, many life, life after life, they meet each other. But in old day, one husband can have many wives. So, but in modern society, only one husband and one wife. Now those people come together again, but they cannot get together. So how do we deal with this karma relationship? You understand my question?
You mean your previous wife come together at the same time and you have to choose which one?
You cannot choose because they, because we don't know, we own them something, they own us something, or we kind of, there's a karma thing, right? But there is some way to settle it, right? Because in the modern society, you can do the same thing like before, right? So what can we do about this? Some suggest like sharing mirror or whatever. I don't know. There are many discussions. It's an interesting subject, Ajahn.
Well, you can use your what you call resistance. If you know that this is wrong, then you have to resist it. And know the consequence of doing wrong, something bad will happen to you, right?
Yeah. But someone will suffer, right?
You will suffer, really. The more you have, the more suffering you get. The less you have, the less suffering you have.
The group among them, they're suffering, right? Because one of the suffering Buddha teaching is you cannot get what you want, and you stay with someone you don't like or something like that. But it's a suffering because it's karma, right? So this is the thing we need to deal with, right? That's Buddha teaching.
Karma is something that you build up to become a habit. If you used to have 4 wives before this life, you probably want to have 4 wives again.
Not possible right now, right? Because of the modern society don't allow to do so.
Now you can go to a country that will allow you to have 4 wives.
So, and also as a monk, for example, they also need to deal with all these relationships, right? No more, right? Parents.
Monks say having relationship is troublesome. It's better to be alone.
Yeah, but
that's why they become monk in the first place.
They still need to deal with that kind of relationship. Otherwise, many people will suffer because someone become a monk, right? Something like that. Okay, I have another question about when we talk about the some of the sensation when we meditate, right? Ajahn always suggest ignore, right? But I have some discussion is that we feel that when our mind is peaceful and the body chi, the energy will circulate better, and when we circulate better, the body can sit longer, and the mind is more peaceful. So it's related. But in Buddhist teaching, we are more concerned about the mind. It's not so much about the body sensation, right? Is that correct?
That's right. When you meditate, the goal is to calm your mind. All the other things are considered to be byproducts or side effects. Not important.
How about the popular teaching of the the yoga thing about the how do you call that? About I forget the terminology. The Indian, always teaching about the different part of the body, something like.
Yeah, they're more concerned about doing something for the body more than for the mind.
Yeah.
In Buddhism, we're only concerned about doing things for the mind.
But I noticed that the Tibet tradition also adopt that, as part of the meditation teaching, something like that. But that is Tibetan. I forget the terminology. It's just so chakra, and it's got chakra, right?
Yeah.
Chakra, yeah. But Buddhism will not really see that it's also a byproduct. It's not. We are more cultivate our mind to deal with this so-called defilement, right?
Defilements.
Yeah, more is a serious focus, not the other superpower or something like that.
Yeah, not important.
Okay. Yeah, clear. I just want to make sure I have a right understanding, Ajahn.
Yeah. The goal is to get rid of greed, hatred, and illusion.
Yeah, that's more important. Yeah.
Yeah.
End of suffering.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Anybody else would like to ask any question? Sulan, she just came in, huh? Always last to enter the room. And Jonathan also.
Okay.
Okay, Sulan, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, Ajahn. Nice to see you again.
Okay, any question from you?
Don't have.
Did you understand the answer I gave you in the Q&A last Sunday?
Last Sunday.
Did you ask a question in the Q&A?
Oh, I didn't ask on Sunday though.
I see. Okay. Maybe it was somebody else. My mistake for you.
But I said sadhu.
Okay. If no question, I'll go to Jonathan. Okay. Hi, Jonathan. Where are you now? Back in the USA?
I'm in the USA, yes, in San Diego.
Back home. Is that where you're based? You're in San Francisco, I think.
We were in San Francisco, and then we moved to Seattle and are spending the wintertime in San Diego. So it's a bit complicated, but we're in the US until later this year, and then we're planning to move to Thailand.
To Phuket, yeah.
To Phuket or another place we're gonna check out some other spots as well. But the last we were looking at was Phuket, so we're excited to be back. But we're in the U.S. for a little bit.
Do you have any question tonight?
Yeah, I have one. It has to do with I think the way that Buddhism might see Western psychology. So Western psychology seems to be very focused on finding the cause of, different problems you have and communicating with others or other things, and tracing them back to their roots in your childhood or other places where patterns emerged. How important is that kind of work to the process of liberation, or is it not? Is it, because I definitely sort of understand the need to sort of trace back how how something occurs and see it as impermanent or not self or other things. But is it also important to do that work of seeing how it maybe the pattern of behavior sort of like built in this lifetime?
I think they don't understand the nature of the mind. See? And that the mind, the problem with the mind is not calm. And so the goal is to calm the mind. See? Once you can calm the mind, then all the problem will disappear. There's no need to trace back to your past or anything like that. Because the cause of the problem, all mental problems come from the lack of mindfulness, the lack of ability to control your thoughts. That's all. Once you can stop thinking, you'll be in a different world, a world without suffering, a world without mental illness. But that's not what the West. The West never study or practice mindfulness, so they cannot understand the true problem of the mind. So they speculate on different things like past patterns and whatever. But it all comes from the lack of ability to control your mental fabrication. That's what the problem is. All the mental problem comes from the uncontrolled mental fabrication. So if you can use mindfulness and meditate and stop this mental fabrication, then you enter into the world of emptiness, a world of peace and equanimity. Then you don't need to do anything anymore. Just keep the mind in that state all the time. That's the goal, really. That's the way to solve all problems, all mental problems.
That makes sense. It also feels like if we were to try to chase all the past patterns, because they emerge over like tons of lifetimes, we could just be chasing those things forever. That's versus right. Actually stopping them. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much. That's very helpful.
Okay, is that all?
That's it. Thank you. It's very good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Come back again.
I will.
All right. Sajalka, you are back. Do you want to ask any question? No? Okay, no question.
Kokseng.
Kokseng? Okay, Kokseng. Go ahead. Okay. Cannot hear you. Something wrong with your microphone.
Plug it out.
Again?
Yeah, can hear you now.
Yeah. Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Ajaan, just now you were mentioning that the nature of the mind is not calm, and therefore we need to practice mindfulness of the breath so that we can have mindfulness, and having mindfulness we can control our the thoughts, the thinking. So once our mind, so did I did I hear it correctly? Just want to clarify.
Yes, you have to control your thought and your mind. When your mind becomes still, then all mental fabrication and emotion will disappear, and your mind become empty, peaceful, and happy.
Okay, so and because the nature of mind is not come, that's why when we try to meditate, there are a lot of thoughts that is running around, and our mind will always run like a monkey.
That's because you don't have mindfulness to stop it.
Okay, yeah, understand. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Kunju from Facebook. No question from Facebook.
Yes, we have one more question that just came in. It's from Sai Chan. Ajahn, is it important to practice samadhi to a strong and consistent level before one turns to contemplate the body, or can one do both at the same time?
Well, the goal is to have strong samadhi first and be easy access to samadhi anytime you can. Anytime you want to enter into samadhi, you can do it in 5 minutes. That's the goal. And when you're not meditating, you need to develop more mindfulness until your mindfulness is strong and able to enter into samadhi at any time, anywhere, when you want to. And when you come out, you can control your thought. Then you can direct your thought to go and contemplate or study the nature of the body, feelings, and the mind, respectively, one at a time. First the body, then the feelings, then the mind. So that you understand the nature and then let go of your attachment to them. Let go of your attachment to your body, your feelings, and your mental states of mind. Okay. Don't be shy if you have any question. Okay, check.
Ajahn, besides using like Bhutto, let's say if I enjoy something and then I just I say, oh, don't enjoy it, like it'll bring you suffering later. Is that considered mindfulness too, or not really, or just thinking?
Well, whatever you do, if you can stop thinking, then it's okay. You can use don't think, stop thinking as a mantra instead. Or you can use Dhamma, Dhammo, Sangho, or you can use, like you say, rational, common sense sometimes to stop your, but this is more having to do with stopping your desire. But sometimes your thought might not have any desire, just want to think, just want to daydream, think about this and think about that. And you don't want to allow it to do this. Think aimlessly or think with a purpose. Even if you are really meditating if your goal is for calm in meditation, then you want to stop all kinds of thinking. That's why you have to isolate yourself and live like on couch alone by yourself with a little hut. Then you know that this world, there's nothing left for you now. All you have is just a little hut. The only thing you want to do is stop thinking. That's the only thing left that you have to do is stop thinking.
So Ajahn, like if I'm daydreaming, I caught myself daydreaming, then Bhutto is the to stop thinking. But if I caught myself having some kind of desire, and I like to use the Dhamma to teach myself, that's like a medicine to stop the desire.
It's stopping your desire, like saying that the things that you go after will give you dukkha sooner or later.
Ajahn, I really like the tattoo just now about tattoo in the mind. It's a really good analogy. It's a really good one.
You use Bhutto to tattoo in the mind.
Tattoo, yeah. Never thought about the tattoo one. Yeah, it's really good one. And
if you can have Bhutto all the time, whenever you start to think, then you can stop with Bhutto right away. Whenever you're angry, you can start it with Bhutto. Whenever you're craving, you can start it with Bhutto.
Yeah.
But only drawback with Bhutto or mindfulness is that it can only stop temporarily. It cannot stop permanently. But with wisdom, with anicca, dukkha, anatta, you can stop your cravings permanently.
And you draw the difference. Just now you draw the difference between sanya and panya. It's really good to like sanya you can forget, but panya you can never forget. It's really it's a good when you
it's ever present.
Yeah,
ever present.
Right. Ajahn, last week you talked. I asked you about the Patimokkha, and you were talking about the 4 cardinal rules. I think you cannot break. You can the monks cannot break.
That's right.
But I'm wondering about the 4th one. Why did the Buddha stress about there are other very harmful lies that but why did the Buddha stress about the psychic, not showing off the psychic power? Is that very harmful?
No, any type of attainment, if you don't have it, you are lying. Say I'm not Samatha, and if I'm not, this is lying already.
But why is it so harmful, Ajahn? Like, why is that? Like,
because you're cheating. You're not telling the truth. So if you're going to be a teacher, if they cannot trust you, then how can you become a teacher anymore?
But other lies are also harmful, Ajahn. But this is not like, this is the most, this Buddha see this as most harmful.
Yes, to profess something that you are not, this is harmful.
To probably
to mislead people to believe in you. To trust in you. Say, believe in me, I'm an arahant. Whatever I say will make you become an arahant. But whatever you tell them, you yourself cannot become an arahant yourself yet. How can you teach other people to become an arahant?
Yeah, that's very helpful. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you.
And nowadays, it's not in fashion to, even if you're an arahant, to tell people you're an arahant either. Because who's going to prove that you are anyway, right? Then you can be accused of this, of committing this this lie, and you can be disrobed. Sometimes they might force you to disrobe, even if you're telling the truth. Because how can you prove to them that you are an arahant?
Only when somebody die and they have the relics, they can.
Yeah, if they're born return, but that's too late already, right? You have to go do your thing. Also, sometimes even if you're an arahant, your born might not turn into relics. Also, it's possible.
That's true.
It's not mean that every arahant will turn to relics. It depends on the amount of time left after you become an arahant. How long you live after. The longer you live, then the likely chance of them turning into relics are more. If you become an arahant this morning and you die this evening, then your bone will turn into relics because it doesn't have the time to be purified.
Yeah, some are like really like gold and like long Dhamma
Yeah, long Dhamma.
relic
Yeah.
is like
Yes, they have different appearances, but they are like precious stone, really.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
And different sizes also, big and small.
Yeah.
But it's not important, because by that time it's useless for you anyway. Because what you need is the teaching. It's not you don't need the relics to teach you. The relics cannot teach you anything. But nowadays we are fortunate; we have recordings of the teaching around. That's why I asked Karen to read the biography of Ajaan Man once.
Yeah, it's
That's
really,
the teaching.
really.
That's the teaching of Ajaan Man with the interpretation by Ajaan Mahabhu.
That's the best, one of the best book. Very inspiring.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Ajahn.
Anybody would like to ask any more question? We actually run out of time now, but if there's another question, go ahead, Kunju. Facebook.
Yes, Katana-chan, the question has come in Thai, so we're going to try to translate it. And it's from Kun Sasitan, and she says that she has a question about people who are in a depressed state of mind. What can we do to help them, to stop them from thinking in circles or be in that depressed state all the time? So that's her question. Yes.
It's very hard to help people who are not able to control their own mental fabrication. So you can get them to do chanting, do group chanting, do things, activities like that to pull the mind away from being depressed. And this might help, but it depends on whether the person wants to do it or not. The person who's depressed want to do it or not also. Sometimes they're just stuck in the state and then don't want to come out of it, no matter what you try to do to them.
That's it, Kai.
Okay, folks, I think that's about it for tonight then, okay? Thank you very much for your participation. I hope this meeting will produce some results, some good results for you, beneficial result that will help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, stay mindful and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you again next week at the same time. Thank you and goodbye.
สาธุค่ะท่านอาจารย์ Thank you, Admin.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Kunju.
Aju.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kevin. Bye.
Everybody. Hi, Jack.
Thank you, Juk.
Everybody.
Bye, Kevin.